we're live. Welcome back, boys and girls. I have to record the entire screen because I am planning on using this little epic pen up here in the corner so I can draw on the map. And if I just broadcast the game, you can't see that. So this is turn 4, July the 13th, as the USSR versus Warmus. So what happened during turn 4? Well, let's see. The first thing is that I had a tank division routing around here into Ventspils. It actually evacuated, was it into Parno here? And now it's in Tallinn here, routed with 200 tanks, whereof we have the flamethrower tanks, OT-130. It's a T-34 modified to have 6 of them. I don't know how valuable they are in game, but they're rare and it's kind of fun that I got away with this one. So I didn't build a city fort, so instead I had to move out Corps headquarters, and I'm hoping the infantry advancing up here doesn't get it here so that it evacuates and I can disband this unit because it has really bad morale and experience. So that was kind of fun, small little detail. Less fun, the Pskov Leningrad front. This was not fun at all to open the save file and find the entire German Panzerwaffe launching itself from south of the Pskov Sorot River here, all the way up here. They managed to take, I don't know how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hexes or something. Advance. He has been sitting still. Well, I guess turn 1 he was here since turn 2, so he rested here turn 3 and then he made a launch. And let's calculate. I see 1 panzer division, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mobile, motorized and panzer divisions. So that is more than a full corps, panzer corps, right? You can only have 4 or 5 in a corps. So that's probably why we're not seeing any motorized. I'm gonna call panzers and mech and motorized. I'm referring to all these fast divisions. Maybe that's what I should call them. I don't think they have anyone over here in the west. Anyway, so what happened was that I had, well, I'm not gonna say luckily enough because this is why I did it. I have 1 division here, the 32nd. It's a large cavalry division with 7,000 men sitting here in this forest here, and I managed to walk it across here because apparently he didn't have infantry to connect here, or he didn't think that I had any units fast enough to move all this way. It had an incredible amount of movement factors. This other cavalry here, it's only on 12. Now, so I managed to isolate them. We have fuel, yellow, orange, green, yellow. I guess fuel is the most important. Let's go supplies as well. Green supplies all over. So what I had to do is pull out all my infantry here that was already in bad shape, a bit tired. They hadn't been fighting per se, but they weren't really rested or had good combat values. And now I had to move them all the way up here. And this would be a nice time to try out the epic pen. Here's my new front line, second line, and the Novgorod defenses here. Then I have a thin skirmish line going down here, and I have some forts and security. I have a little bit of cavalry and infantry here in the secondary line, and I managed to pull back here. Now the thing is, they're very tired, they're banged up, they've been sitting, you know, they were in bad shape from turn 1. So, and I really don't have any good quality troops here, but these troops are isolated. So I guess it all depends on how tired are these after being isolated. And if we check the combat results, let's see here. You see that I managed to air bombard, which did absolutely nothing. And he's been dropping down a lot of supplies down here, so I guess that spreads out on his troops. And he's been reconning a whole lot along this line before he did his breakthrough. So I would call this it was very severe when I started, but because I could cut it off with my cavalry, I feel a little bit threatened, and I actually managed to at least get these bad troops up here. And I have also reinforced with a lot of off-map reserve troops deploying for the next turn. An interesting detail is that the first troops, I had to calculate 10 hexes from this top unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. But then once you cut them off and they're isolated, they don't count as activated. And I was able to deploy, what do you call it, set reserve theater box arrival hex. I could set actually right next to them. Like this hex, for example. No? No, I couldn't. Okay, but anyways, these are the... Oh, shoot. So that was nice. A couple of them I will have to walk, but a few of them will deploy just next to them. And I don't know if the Germans captured the hex I've ordered them to deploy into. I suppose they will just deploy as close as possible then. And we have a new orange army coming up here with a little bit better leadership. I'll tell you a little bit, repeat that green is fairly bad and orange is a little bit better, whereas red are my best quality leaders. That's how I organize it. If it's a little bit pink like this, they also have a decent mobile division factor, so that I can shove any motorized units in there. I also built a new depot behind here, because I would like to hold this line here of heavy, rough terrain. We are keeping building forts. This Leningrad line here, pushing south or down towards Novgorod, and Novgorod has a level 2 fort now. So we see more and more forts popping up, a couple of naval brigades. If you played this before, of course, this is nothing new. And this might be a mistake or not, I am now keeping 2 divisions in Tallinn. I will not reinforce it more, I will not build a city fort, but hopefully the 58 defense factor will make him commit a corps of infantry to take it. And that 1-2 turns, that infantry corps stays up here, they're not at Leningrad, and I feel that's a worthwhile exchange of forces. Okay. I also have another army, 34th Army here, with a very bad leader on it, and maybe I'll replace him. 3.0 average. Maybe I'll replace him next turn, or sometime in the future. I think they lowered the amount of action points from 25 to 20, so I feel very restricted by that. So what else happened? In the center, nothing much exciting. We caught sight of no less than 3 fast divisions heading to cut off Veliki Luki. I was expecting him to come here with infantry, because it's kind of the sector where German infantry can reach the fastest. So this is a bit stronger when it comes to commitment of fast divisions than I expected, and that made me scared, so I started to pull back. And this is a bit of a trick I did. I railed in 3 Moscow militia divisions here. It's only like 18,000 men. Oh, they only have a combat factor of 44. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. So they're gonna stay in there. We do have a depot with how much? 2,000 stored freight. I think that's going to be enough to keep them alive for a couple of turns, or at least until the Germans attack there. And I suppose that extra turn might be worth it, even if I lose all the troops. Well, I guess I will. So I kept a 2 hex distance, and I put them in heavy forest, because I got really scared. I don't want to see this happen up here as easily. So now we have organized 2 armies, 22nd and 11th here under decent leadership, orange and red. Remember, orange is medium and red is good. and the northwestern front stretches down here with some weak divisions here in the center under the 5th Airborne Corps. So the border is around here. And interesting, on the map as a whole, I have 2.5 million men. I have 400,000 in Leningrad front, and I think 400,000 in northwestern front of those two. Well, almost. So 800,000 out of, it's a third. So if you check the map from this perspective, okay, let me draw on the map a little bit. This area to around here contains 1/3 of my army. 800,000 men. So that means I'm heavily committed. I also built more forts and depots, and if we check the air, air was useless up here. The Leningrad Air Command has, what is that, 700 airplanes. Northwestern only has 100, but I have quite a few airplanes as well, as much as my air bases, and I'm also expanding air bases. So I guess Leningrad is the focus, one of my primary focuses of the defense. Probably forgetting to tell you stuff. Then we come to the defense of Smolensk. All he did in this sector was kind of slowly crawl up with his heavy commitment of fast divisions here, a little bit closer. He didn't do any attacks. Last time I made a counterattack in this hex here, and I managed to push him back, my first successful counterattack. So maybe he got a little bit cautious. And that is because I have some good tank divisions here. 364 tanks, 7 combat factor. Some of the best divisions I have on the map are in this sector under a pink, what do you call it? Pink army, which means it's decent when it comes to commanding tanks. And this must be the strongest section of my front. The Western Front has, is it 350,000? 311,000 troops. Oh, but look, they have, that doesn't look like a lot, but they have over 3,000 tanks. So, yeah, I have another armored corps down here, the yellow one. It's good, the tank commander, but these divisions are not as strong. And then I have another blue reserve tank corps here. These are really bad, but they're refitting. So, I don't think German infantry is ready to launch at the infantry line here yet next turn, turn 5. At least I'm hoping so. And I think it's going to be hard for him to push through, especially in the center. Maybe, let me draw a little bit. What I'm scared of is him being able to do something like so. I don't know how realistic that is, because I have very few reserves. Maybe I'm making a huge mistake not having my secondary and third lines further back here. But really, we have marshes, rough terrain. At least, okay, it's open ground here, but it's not. He's not sitting right on the front. He pushed very far for turn 1, further than I've never ever seen anyone do, because he crushed my paratroopers, which are usually out of range from turn 1, a fast division movement. But he pushed quite far during turn 2 as well. Let's see if I can. Oh wait, there we go. He got across the Dnieper here, but he's been resting for turn 3 and turn 4, so he should be in great shape. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I am kind of worried about these troops here. Let's see what they can do. I guess I'm hoping that he can't envelop me. Maybe he can break through the line, but he can't isolate me. At least if you look in the north here, as you can see, he didn't envelop and encircle and isolate any troops. He just pushed through my line. Of course, he just squashed through. I mean, he killed everything. These troops were so banged up. I guess maybe what I would have considered doing if I was in his shoes was actually cut divisions off that were sitting here before instead. But, you know, it's gonna take his infantry fast and efficiently up towards the Leningrad fight, which is the real fight. I don't know. You tell me what you would have done. Okay, then we have the Orel military district. One single army, it's getting 18. It has like 100,000 men in 100,000 men. Couple of Moscow militia, but as you can see here now, we have motorized or fast divisions pushing up towards here, and they are pushing into a vacuum, an open an open slot here. You wanna look at this hole in the line here, it's huge. But I have deployed new reinforcements all along here. You know, I have to deploy 10 hexes away, so it's not going to be very close, but I have it's mostly cavalry, and there will be some tank and mechanized units setting up here. I'm considering this more of a skirmish line to keep him honest and not have him push through as much as he wants. He can't move around freely. But I am scared of him cutting off this rail line here, coming from Kursk down towards Chernigov, because that would be my northern evacuation route if I wanted to rail something out. So what happened around Gomel here? I had an army sitting forward position. He didn't manage to encircle me, but look at this. What's this here? Let's check that combat out. That's probably the most entertaining thing on the entire map here, because across the river, is this the Dnieper River? We have GrossDeutschland motorized regiment with 7,600 men, 100 guns, and I attacked him with 84,000 troops and even 62 tanks. As you can see, I suffered massive casualties: 1,700 men, 35 planes, some third of my tanks, and I didn't inflict a lot of casualties. But he lost 7 airplanes. I'm quite happy with that. I think this, what is it, 5-to-1 ratio, because they're modern Bf-109 F2s. And he retreated. That means I gain 1 victory for my participating divisions, and I think he loses all his, CPPs, is that it? CPPs? His combat preparation points, if he retreats, isn't that correct? And that means that this regiment is now, well, it's not gonna operate as efficiently as before, and what I'm hoping is that his southern pincer of the Gomel push here is gonna be a little bit weakened. And I don't know what this is, but I know he's got more units up here, so I suppose he will be pushing, let me get that, red Russian, no, maybe we should call it the black German attack. So what can he do? Maybe he will push up here, maybe he'll go straight to Kursk, maybe he'll try to encircle me here and cut off this rail line here. But at least I am hoping he won't be able to encircle this army, because even though this attack was successful, it might have been a mistake, because now this army, the 22nd army, 21st army, even though it has like 100,000 men and 100 tanks, it's in horrible shape. It's in horrible. Look at all the fatigue. It starts at 80 and goes down to 17. All the troops are very tired, and I really need a respite, and I don't have any second line defenses at all. If he is in better shape, let's see here, fuel. Oh, we have red fuel here, and I think this went from green to yellow or orange when I pushed him back. Okay, this makes me happy to see fuel is red here. The one strong division I have is the 140th sitting in the marsh. I railed him down from Gomel, so he's still in good shape. It's only 20 fatigue around there. But it might look like a decent skirmish line, but it's so shaky now. It's so very shaky. This is the area that the only thing that saves me here is the distance. I took down, is it Tolbukin? He's a great mech leader. He's also a great infantry leader, and that's why I have a pink color on him. I'd rather have him command infantry, but I'm so low on mech leaders. Oh, of course, mech divisions. That's what you're calling them, mech divisions. That I need him to command the mech in this area. They're very weak, but of course they have a zone of control and they move around just fine. Because he's not very strong here yet. All right, sorry. I just felt this sector worthwhile discussing because it is an interesting, the very weak center. Obviously, I have some reinforcements coming in, infantry in the cities, Kharkov, Belgorod, Kursk here, and Oral as well. 1 infantry per city, I think. So it's not going to be entirely empty. Right, Kiev sector. This is interesting too. What happened? We see mech motorized formations in regiment shape push up towards Kiev and also the bypass here at Cherkasy. Cherkasy has a 25 combat factor because I have a infantry division there, so it has a decent, but it's mostly security regiments holding the line. So of course it's threatening. It's turn 4 after all. But I did have my strongest armored mech units in around Kiev on the other side, on the west side of the river, and I managed to complete 4 different successful counterattacks. So these regiments should be banged up, lost their combat preparation, but my formerly strong, I mean, they still have a decent amount. Let's check the corps commander here. It's Batov, which is one of the best mech commanders. He still has almost 700 tanks under his command, although I lost quite a few. The combats aren't that interesting. I didn't suffer huge losses. Did I have to attack twice? Why are there 2? I don't understand. But 24 tanks, 0 tanks, 30 tanks. Why? Observed? Oh, okay. First I recognize. Yeah, didn't go so well with my air combat here. But anyway, I gained a couple of wins with divisions here. I don't think these forces here are quite as tired, exhausted, and banged up as the one up here. But still, this is a very weak sector. And of course, the center is weak as well. I guess this 12th Army, which is Pavel Rybalko, which is also, because he's gray, is a good mech commander. I guess we have a decent... I mean, they've been resting on turn... They've been falling back from Vinitsa, turn 2, turn 3. They've been sitting around this depot. Now they're gonna rest mostly these turns. They should be in okay shape, and maybe he's not strong enough here. I don't know what's behind here, but hopefully it's regiments. Maybe he's strong enough. If he pushes over the river, I can push him back, or at least, prevent a breakthrough. So what's interesting here, I suppose, is that another third or half of my tanks are in the southwestern front. 3,000 up in around Smolensk, and I think another 2,400 or so tanks in this area. So 350,000 is along with the Chernigov army here. So it's only 250,000 men sitting around Kiev, Kremenchuk here. That's not a lot. So it is a skirmish line. It's a little bit for show. It's a little bit not a ruse, but I'm not pretending that I'm gonna be able to hold him or fight him here. It's just I'm gonna fall back and try to not get encircled. And but I'm still definitely calculating that the biggest threat is him going, somewhere. I don't expect him to go straight through here. Why would he? It's open territory. I don't have any defenders here. And I did not reinforce a lot in this area. So I don't know how am I gonna defend the line. Let's do the Russian red. I don't know how I'm going to defend the nice river line here, Zaporizhia, Dnipropetrovsk, Poltava. I wish I could, probably won't be able to. I guess I plan on having my mech forces evacuate to down here. Hopefully that will work out. Okay, so we have a weak but not critically threatened sector around Kiev. We have almost 100,000 men in Odessa. I have an army with a bad leader, that's because it's light green, that I can upgrade and send over from Sevastopol. And then I feel I have a very strong defense, and it's also a rather strong fort in Odessa. It's up to over 3. Between Nikolaev and Kherson, I have one decent mech corps. How many tanks does he command? Oh, almost 800. Obviously, it's not strong enough to fight, but, you know, I can maybe slow him down half a turn or something, or, you know, take a snipe at a Romanian cavalry unit. I have 1 infantry division in Nikolaev and 2 in Kherson building forts. I have a couple of mountain divisions sitting around the Kerch, the Kerch Peninsula entrances here. I built another fort. So I'm trying to slow him down in the entrance here. And the southern front, and that's along with the Twin Cities defenders. 60,000 men here, 100,000 in Odessa, for a total of, is it 200? No, 400. What the hell? 400? Where the hell are all those? Wait, really? How many in 24th Army here? 46,000? Wait, that seems a lot. 60, 100, 46? That doesn't come to over 400. I don't know where my southern front forces are, because the front stops here at D-Town with the 6th Army up here. Okay. Anyway, it's a weak defense in depth as far as I see it. I plan on slowly falling back. And I'll show you. I'm now at 5 million men, and my losses went down to 75,000 after the pockets being eliminated. I'm happy. I guess I'm happy with that. Where is the map? I stayed at 2.5 million these turns, but now I deployed, I guess, around 200,000 for the next turn, so I'm hoping to strengthen my on-map formations. I think I might have been a little bit too conservative on deploying troops on the map, because I misjudged how long time it takes to load on and refill ammunition and combat preparation. So maybe I rested, refitted, and trained them in the reserve a little bit too long. Okay, let's also, this is what you can do. I suppose we take the on-map forces. Wait. And support. How do I show you my 2.5 million, 33,000 guns, 7,000 tanks, and 4,500 airplanes? Yeah, that's probably what I've got on the map now for now. So Leningrad, this place a worry. The open flanks of this weak army here is a worry. Yeah, I feel cautiously optimistic about Kiev, even though I'm tired and banged up from the long retreat. He does have to wait for infantry to come up here. I feel fairly good about the southern sector, Odessa sector. Guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Wish me luck. I'm gonna finish this up and send it over to my opponent, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.